Having said that, you can't expect to lift 300 pounds of weight if you've only been working with 210 pounds. Okay, you can't expect that. That's not realistic. You have to work up to the point to get to 300 pounds. And that's what people are wanting to do when they jump into relationships, new relationships rather, in recovery. Because, and let me just explain. It's best to understand yourself before you try to understand others. By engaging in the new relationships, you spend more time trying to understand the person rather than yourself. Because it's a new relationship. You want to get to know them. And you spend so much time trying to understand them, you didn't know yourself. And this is why the addiction process, you didn't know, not yourself, but your emotions, rather. And because you didn't know that, what ends up happening is you react to situations in a relationship rather than being proactive. So you react to the crisis in a relationship rather than being proactive and addressing the issue before they become a crisis. Because you don't know yourself well enough. It's only spawned off of the crisis between you and that person, and that's all about the emotion. That could be something we could go into as far as healthy boundaries are concerned, later date and time. Now, I know everybody gets what I'm saying, or I'm hoping everybody's getting what I'm saying in regards to the dynamics of a relationship, or a dysfunctional relationship, rather. But the problem is not the relationship, just like the problem is not is drugs in a person's addiction. The problem is the possible relapse in this relationship. Maybe everything goes great, but is that too much of a risk to try to deal with? Are you willing to risk that behind a new relationship that may or may not go anywhere? Now, hear me now. I want to break down how the body operates as far as chemically is concerned. Relapse is prompted by chemical imbalances in the system. An accumulative effect of chemicals, okay? And these chemicals are produced by your emotions. These emotions happen and they produce chemicals. So more emotional disruptions you have, the more chemicals become unbalanced. The endocrine system produces these chemicals. And some people think that the endocrine system is just the hypothalamus, and that's not exactly true. The endocrine system has 6 different areas in your body. One is the hypothalamus, the other is the thyroid gland, the other one is the pancreas, 4 is your adrenal glands, located by your kidneys, 5 is the gonads, male and female, of course, have gonads, but they're in the sexual organ area. Okay, very important. And last is the pineal gland, or the pineal gland. Okay, and that's in your cerebral as well. So when people use drugs or alcohol, chemicals are produced in these glands in excess. In fact, when people have emotions, chemicals are produced in these glands. And in a relationship, if things stayed all good, it wouldn't be a problem. But they don't, sometimes. The good and the bad of relationships cause a rise and a fall of emotions, and this causes chemicals to be unbalanced, resulting in, most times, a relapse. Okay? And that is why it is not advised that a person engage in a relationship starting out in recovery because of the chemical imbalance. So in fact, when you're in that position for that to take place, what you're actually doing is you are going to put yourself in a position to have an emotional relapse. Okay? So to sum it up, the reason why relationships are bad in recovery is because The same way that a person may think about drinking or think about or have dope dreams or whatever the case is, you are stimulating chemicals in your body, pleasurable chemicals in your body that you like. And when you stop, or when there's a crisis or something ends up taking place, you're more prone to a relapse than if you weren't in a relationship at all. If you really love yourself and you really care about your life and you really care about your recovery, just abstain and chill until you get yourself together. Because you owe the person, if you really care about them, you owe them the best of who you are. And by doing that, you're cheating yourself and them as well. So, that for today is the PSA on, is new relationships in recovery, a bad thing? It's not advised. So, thank you for staying with me and listening. The PSA number 3 is going to be over pause, okay, or pause is post-acute withdrawal syndrome, but we're gonna call it the relapse syndrome for today, because I want people to understand the dynamics of when you're in a position to potentially relapse. What are the symptoms? All right. Thank you for listening. This is James Persley with Blackbread Enterprises. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks.